this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores.
Hi, Chris here. This presentation is a deconstruction of the song Wet Ass Pussy, WAP, through the lens of queer theory. My favourite definition of queer theory speaks of exploring the oppressive power of dominant norms, particularly those relating to sexuality. In analysing the power of the normal, queer theory contributes to a politics and ethics of difference. Queer theory challenges dominant and oppressive norms, especially those around gender and sexuality. As an artistic piece, WAP speaks very much to the relationship between sex and money, power dynamics and prohibitionism, all themes covered in this course. Now, to give fair warning, the language used here has been deemed offensive by many. However, language is a tool used to convey a particular and very strong message within a very well-established medium, hip-hop. The intention here is not to offend, but rather to elucidate, explore, educate and enjoy. When WAP was released last summer, the Guardian editorial lauded it. Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath called it a disgusting song. In the US, it stimulated passionate debate between right and left-wingers and everyone in between. As one commentator noted, there is something about women, and black women to boot, taking charge of their sexuality that drives conservatives up the wall. WAP debuted at number 1 and went gold or platinum in 14 countries. To date, the video has had over 353 million views on YouTube. That's an average of 14 million views a week since its release. It has had over 700 million streams on Spotify. What makes WAP stand out is all the above, plus the fact that this song can be looked at through so many lenses. Race, gender, capitalism, sexuality, neoliberalism, patriarchy, hip-hop feminism, fetishization, Foucauldian power dynamics, discourse analyses, to name a few. So, how does WAP fit into a forensic psychology course on sex work? This course specifically looks to apply psychological knowledge and methods to civil and criminal legal questions related to sex work. Remember the concept of positive marginalisation, the reclaiming of a marginalised identity as a tool for empowerment? Queer used to be a slur, a pejorative. Now queer is used as a term which redefines previous restrictions of love and self. It challenges the Madonna-whore dichotomy and other binary dictates. Queer studies is a discipline all of its own. I would argue that the word whore fits into this turn of pejorative into a positive paradigm as well. And this song literally starts with the line, "There's some whores in this house." As a disclaimer, I am certainly not saying that Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion are sex workers. However, they are most certainly getting sex to work for them. And this song was chosen as a zeitgeist of current attitudes. Cardi and Meghan divert dominant narratives to their advantage. While potentially performing to the male gaze, they used this captured attention to set their own agenda. They used the tricks of patriarchy, the idea that women perform for men, to drive home their message. What enraged so many critics of WAP is that while they protested a little too loudly about how WAP promoted prostitution, what they really seemed to have a problem with was how women took charge. Deliberately embracing the notion of whore and turning it into a positive. Being comfortable with the contradictions of being a feminist within a capitalist society. The Conservatives couldn't handle it. They had to reach for the holy water. Consider some of the examples in the lyrics of how the performed role of high-class escort gets the men playing to her tune.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
Rejecting the norm of domesticity, it's her sexual prowess which makes her desired.
He bought a phone just for pictures of this wet ass pussy.
She is so special, he buys equipment especially to capture her image.
Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet ass pussy.
He will pay her university fees, notoriously high in the US, simply to gain access to her. This is a very deliberate queering of societal norms. Not only the deliberate turning of tables relating to power play, here the woman is very clearly leading on all fronts, but also dangling the forbidden fruit just out of reach. The only way certain punters could deal with this was by immediately medicalising vaginal wetness. Ben Shapiro tried, yet his faux outrage really only got him owned. We know that prohibitionism doesn't work, unless you're the 1956 Clean Air Act. Yet the music industry contains one of the clearest examples of how an attempt at prohibiting a commodity, and music is a commodity, a public good, has the inverse effect of increasing its value. Consider the impact of the parental advisory label. It really didn't have the effect its originators intended. The story of the parental advisory label started when Mary Gore, Al Gore's wife, took umbrage to the lyrics in Prince's Darling Nikki. The US Senate agreed that lyrical content warning labels would be effective in protecting innocent ears. Of course, when the parental advisory notice was adopted by the music industry in the late 80s, every record with that label instantly became infinitely more desirable. The backlash to WAP no doubt helped bolster WAP sales and focus media attention. Speaking of forbidden fruit, think about the symbolism used in the video. Serpents are one of the oldest and most widespread mythological symbols, often holding the duality of both good and evil. Consider the snake in the Garden of Eden. In other cultures, the serpent is a symbol of knowledge, medicine and healing, of fertility, renewal and life force. Think also of the bed snake, king cobra, or the snake pit. In the lyrics, consider how the idea of prohibition and criminalisation is played with lines such as
Your Honor, I'm a freak bitch, handcuffs, leashes,
making the undesirable desirable, and flipping it with a sexualised BDSM gloss.
Can't hurt my feelings, but I like pain.
And most of all, how the entirety of both the song and the lyrics is an act of women of colour reclaiming their bodies and redefining their own beauty. Ashley Hall, a communications academic, offers an Afrofuturistic feminist framework presenting black women as truth-telling engineers who are often perceived as troublemakers. These troublemakers deliberately perform a very particular form of female gender expression. Think Judith Butler here. They own and reclaim, riveting the curvy, bootylicious, wet, demanding, aroused female body to the mast. Their bodies are literally highlighted and presented in neon on a powerhouse stage. Feminism challenges the ideas of gender as a natural and unchanging category. Queer theory focuses more on sexuality and sexual behaviour. The lyrics are rife with double and even triple meaning. Consider one example.
Put him on his knees, give him something to believe in.
Is he praying to a goddess? Is he serving her? Is he servicing her? All three. Adwa Madawi in The Guardian wrote about how the uproar WAP caused was all to do with how WAP showcased women being in control. Again, this power play is in both the lyrics and the video. In the lyrics, the assertion of being at the top of the food chain.
In the food chain, I'm the one that eat you. If he ate my ass, he's a bottom feeder.
In the visuals, the big pussy cats, the leopard print, the tiger stripes. These women are in control and are the ones dominating the narrative. Here, the vulnerable female agenda is refuted, and any attempts to criminalise, control or coerce are literally owned.
Certified free, 7 days a week. Beat it up, nigga, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard.
All skirt on the lines of criminality, playing with the notions of deviance, of madness, the criminal freak or the sexual freak.
I need a Henny drink, I need a weed smoke.
Yet here are women who are not internalising trauma or pandering to the vulnerability agenda, but who are advocating kink, the whores who stay one step ahead of trouble, the cops.
Yeah, running that thing like the cops behind me.
Cardi B's own description of her brand of feminism is refreshingly down to earth. Anything a man can do, I can do. I can finesse, I can hustle. She asserts that some people think only a woman that can speak properly, has a degree, who is a boss, a business person, can be a feminist. I'm hoping that this has shown how some of the ideas from a forensic psychology course on sex work have very contemporary and real-world applications. Queer theory, prohibitionism, power dynamics, notions of deviance, sexual subversions, all of these and much more can be seen in WAP. Above everything, a song and the ideas it promotes can become a huge think piece, and yet the battle between sexuality and civil liberties is still ongoing. To co-opt the LGBTQ+ slogan, women's vaginas get wet. Deal with it.
That's some wet ass pussy, huh?